Welcome back, and today we have another week of Broadway grosses, so let's get into it. Up first, we have & Juliet, and that did 98% capacity this week, and $1,058,739 this week, compared to last week's $974K, which is a step in the right direction for & Juliet. A Beautiful Noise did 55% last week and 71% this week, going from 694K to 798K. So this is an improvement over last week, but again, you know what, 798,000 is pretty solid. It's close to 800K, so it's going back to the business it needs to do. Although I think A Beautiful Noise probably costs like operating cost of at least 800K a week, so it's probably underperforming by just a little, by a small margin, at least for this week. Back to the Future went back to the $1 Million Club after playing to 974K last week and 91% capacity compared to last week's 85% capacity. Days of Wine and Roses, with 7 performances, did 81% capacity, which was an improvement from the 65% last week, going from 417K to 382K, and that's the ticket prices were a tad bit less expensive. So it just opened because it went from $80 to $59. Hadestown did 98% capacity compared to last week's 95% capacity, going from 695K to 733K, which again is a step in the right direction. I think it can sustain itself at like 750 plus, so it's still a little bit underperforming, but I'm glad it's not in the 6s and the 5s. But again, Hadestown is running out of steam. Be prepared. Hamilton did 100% capacity. Last week, 1,762,562. This week, 1,725,790. Harmony did 540K last week and 707K this week, which was a huge 100K plus improvement, performing to 98% capacity compared to last week's 79%. So, luckily for Harmony, it's going out with a bang, which is, you'll love to see. Harry Potter did 91. Oh, no, Harry Potter. How to Dance in Ohio also was having a boost, going from 383K to 503K, going from 63% to 83%. And, again, if How to Dance in Ohio had done a 503K in the beginning, and Harmony was sustaining 707K, then these musicals wouldn't close. It doesn't honestly, it takes a lot. But these two musicals, it didn't take too much for them to sustain. But unfortunately they're not. Kimberly did 487K last week and 524K this week, a slight improvement, doing 93% this week and 82% last week, so a pretty sizable jump in attendance. Merrily continues to sell out, going from 1,688,540 last week to this week's 1,598,882. And the average paid ticket was $206 compared to last week's $218. Now you'll notice that Merrily has been doing less business since the fall. It was doing, 9s, 8s, and now it's doing 6s and 5s. Still amazing numbers. It's still like behemoth, like box office blockbuster numbers. But you definitely do see a bit of a decrease from the sales. Which I do think is because, there was the initial hype, and now it's kind of died down. It's January, it's a little bit of a slow season. So all musicals take a hit. Moulin Rouge did 1,076,750 last week and 1,120,097 this week, performing to 97% capacity compared to last week's 93% capacity, so a slight improvement. 6 did 99% capacity and 879K compared to last week's 880K, so another solid week for 6. Spamalot did 72% capacity this week compared to last week's 70% capacity, and 832K last week to this week's 828K. I think, listen, am I saying it? Spamalot. So I keep on saying Spamilton. It's Spamalot. I know, I've listened to it, I'm a fan. Spamalot is doing better than like Akimbo, How to Dance in Ohio, Harmony. Compared to a lot of these other musicals, Spamalot, Spamilton, Spamalot, yeah. Spamalot is doing very good compared to a lot of other musicals. Obviously, if it goes past 800K, that's when I'm a little concerned, but we're not in danger territory yet. But I don't think that's going to happen. And even if it does, it's supposedly limited engagement until July, so it should be fine. Oh, and Gutenberg finished with 102% capacity, recouping their investment, and a cast album is coming, going from 1,163,354 to 1,462,227, breaking the James Earl Jones box office records. Sweeney Todd did 90% capacity compared to last week's 90% capacity, and it did 776K compared to last week's 795K. From a grosses perspective, that's pretty poor. And those are the grosses for this week. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.